What's going on, everybody? Eric Bourassa here, and today I am going to convince you why you must learn every single note on your fretboard, no matter what kind of a guitar player you want to be. I don't care if you want to just be strumming songs with cowboy chords, or if you want to be a shred guitar virtuoso, or anything in between. It is non-negotiable. You must learn the notes on your fretboard. Now, first, let me just say, I'm going to give you 5 reasons, by the way, of why you should, because it's something that comes up with my guitar students a lot. A quick side note, if somebody wants to work with me, if they are unwilling to learn the notes of their fretboard, it's bye-bye time. If you're not willing to do this, it says a lot about your actual commitment to the guitar. So here is why you need to learn every note on your fretboard. Number 1, it's a super easy way to be able to use the entire fretboard. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say you're playing a lead line, or you're improvising in like A minor pentatonic, right? Right, you're kind of using like box 1, and then maybe those extra notes up here and those extra notes down here, right? So I could play kind of a line like this. I know this is A, and I can just play around with that. And instead of needing to see the scale everywhere, I can just be like, okay, that's an A. Ah, that's also an A. That means I can play the exact same thing. Or, here's another A. And then what you can do is you can actually repeat the exact same idea or something very similar in all 3 of those places. And then people will be amazed and be like, wow, they really know their way around the fretboard. And really, you're just seeing those 3 A's and basically playing the same idea. So maybe I go like something like this. There's my octave. Now I'm seeing that other octave. Now I'm seeing the lower octave. And just using that, you get a lot of mileage out of those few notes. We can go even further with it. This time, let's do it with a little bit of gain. We had that A. Let's use the exact same A here and here, right? And I can just kind of play. So you have a super easy way of getting around the entire fretboard. It's fun for you, and it's entertaining for your audience. So whether you're playing to a camera, just playing for fun, or playing a live show, when an audience sees you go from down here to up here, maybe you're playing the same ideas or something very similar, but it looks cool. So it's great for the show. All right, so speaking of octaves, that brings me to the second reason why you need to memorize all the notes on your fretboard, and that is you can fatten up your lead lines. You can add texture to anything that you're playing. So let's say, great example, this is a new song I'm writing. It's tentatively called Groove Goon. So I've got it there, but when I recorded it, it sounded kind of thin. So then I added. Right? And then you put those together, you record them, and it sounds a little something like this. So an idea that sounded kind of thin, now all of a sudden sounds a lot thicker. Okay, so it gives me the freedom to add that texture. And then also, if you play in a band with two guitar players, if they're playing something down low, hey, I just made that up right now. You could then, you guys can play that together and it sounds just really cool. You sound really tight as a band, but you don't sound like you're playing the exact same thing, even though you really are. You're in two sonically different places, which helps you both cut through the mix so you can each hear your own part, but it also just sounds cooler and adds a little fatness to what you're playing. Okay, so the third reason why you should memorize all the notes on your fretboard is one of my favorites, and it is to make riffs easier to play. Okay, so one of the things I frequently see when I'm helping a student look at tabs on Songster or helping them learn a song is they might have a pattern like this, right? Fairly common in like rock and pop punk. So I've got this E plus B plus A plus G sharp kind of played together. Okay, and it might be written there, but it's kind of tough to play it there. It's a little awkward for the fingers. Well, I know that this E also lives here on the 9th fret of the 3rd string. So now I move all the other notes, and now I have so much easier than this. It's just easier to play. So I do this all the time, like basically every single day. I'll either write something or I'll be learning something and it's played one way, but it just doesn't work for me. And because I know all the notes on my fretboard, I have the freedom to say, no, I don't want to play it that way. For instance, there was a Marcos Foley idea recently where he plays this lick like, but like way faster. And I just couldn't get it, even though I was trying to play it. So I was like, okay, A, D, E, F. He's just playing that over and over in 3 octaves. And I thought, what is an easier way that fits my playing style to play A, D, E, F? So I went A, D, E, F. So that is so hard for me, but this, so easy. All right, the fourth reason why you should memorize all of the notes on your fretboard, for a better tone. Earlier when I played this idea, I moved it here. And what did you notice for those playing along at home? That's right, this was a brighter sound. This was a darker sound. Now, depending on what you're doing, this brighter sound might be better for the mix. Whether you're playing live or you're recording, getting that brighter tone may stand out better. Or it may be that you want a darker, warmer sound. And if you know the notes on your fretboard, you have the freedom to determine which one is better. And then notice, we can move it here and get an even darker sound. We can move it here, get an even darker sound. That's really hard to play though. So notice how it goes from bright to dark with the same exact notes in 4 places. Pretty different sound for each one of those. So depending on the kind of tone that you want, you can move musical ideas around if you know the notes on your fretboard. And now we get to my fifth and favorite reason why you need to learn every single note on your fretboard. And it is so you can start playing more musically. When you know the notes on your fretboard, you stop thinking about shapes as much and you start thinking about the notes that you are playing. So for instance, I recently wrote a guitar solo for a song that I'm working on. The rhythm part, by the way, goes like this. So over those chords, I don't want to get too lost in the weeds, but I can basically do G minor pentatonic for most of it, with one small exception. I could just be thinking like this. And that would be fine, but I want to be very intentional with my notes. So instead of just playing random notes and hoping they're going to work, I'm thinking G to G to F, and then we'll bring in this B and a C, G, F. And now I'm thinking like box one of G minor pentatonic, but I want to hit this E note and then bend up to F. And then I want to target over that G major 7, this B and D. And then over the G minor 7, this C and D. And then over the F major 7, the A. Right? So I'm not just, I don't expect you to necessarily follow all of that right now. But because years ago I started just thinking about the note names and learning them, I rarely think only in terms of shapes. I will use shapes as a launching point, but then I look at the note names to help me land on the best, most musical choices that I can find instead of random notes in a scale. So you will become more musical by knowing the notes on your fretboard. All right, so that's it. If you would like to learn the exact process that I take my students through, you can download the link in the description to memorize the fretboard. And if you're interested in becoming an online guitar student of mine, getting access to my entire guitar curriculum, including my 90-day guitar transformation curriculum, which you can buy as a standalone course. But if you're interested in doing that with my direct help, you can apply to be a student of mine at the link in the description, at the other link in the description below. So I think I've got room for one more student this month. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have already learned all the notes on your fretboard, has it helped you? If you are starting to learn the notes on your fretboard, how has that helped you? Or maybe you're like, Eric, you don't know what you're talking about. I think that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Well, great. I'd love to hear all about your incredible rebuttal. So put that in the comment below, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next times.